Hi, it's Keith. So I've got a question that I got in there last week that I thought I'll share with you exactly how I responded to it. But basically it went like this. Dear Keith, my senior project manager has just handed in a resignation letter and we were working together for 3 years, blah, 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 blah. My question is, what should I do? Should I make a counter offer? Your advice would be greatly appreciated. Yours, Jim. Well, Jim, yeah, so we've all faced that at some stage or other. The first thing is the most important thing is when you get that resignation letter, as I'm sure you realize, is you don't react. Because if you think about what's going on in your brain, so when you get handed that resignation letter, especially from someone you've worked with and you're relying on, the emotions that are going through your brain are just all over the place. You've got, first of all, oh no, what's going to happen? I've got a team and in a few weeks' time we're going to be going. So that's flying through your brains. At the same time, you've got a disappointment. If you've got bonds with this person and it's like you're losing a friend. And also, let's be honest, there's a bit of anger. There normally is well, hang on, I put so much effort into you and this is how you repay me with presenting all these problems. So that is, in a nutshell, in split milliseconds, that's what's pumping through your brain. And it's just us, it's just how we react to things. So if you're one of those people who can actually calm down and know that's going on and live with it, absolutely perfect. If not, give yourself a few minutes. Just, oh yeah, let's talk about it in a few minutes' time. Come back in 10 minutes and just so I sort out something. Yeah, but just give yourself the 10 minutes just to realize you've got those emotions going on and not react. And then what do you do? Okay, so either you're in control or the person's come back in 10 minutes later. So if you think about it, this is like the best way. It's like a conflict situation. This has the potential to become something that neither you nor your colleague wants, and that's what you want to try and avoid. So think how you'd normally resolve a conflict or try and avoid a conflict. So the first thing that you would do is simply express the desired positive outcome. So I'd say something like, actually, we've worked together for ages, and I gather you and me, we both want to leave this on a good note, and knowing that we'll probably bump into each other in the future, and we'd like things to be good, and we have a good relationship in the future. And it's something positive. It's something that they're not going to turn around and go, no, I don't want that. So you create a positive intention. And the second thing you do is you just express exactly what's happened. So yeah, we've worked together it's been 3 years now on the project, and you're a key member of the project team, and you've just presented me with your resignation letter. So again, just stating a few facts that you and the person are going to nod up and down to. And the third part of any conflict resolution is to express your emotions. And I know sometimes people say don't express your emotions, but I totally disagrey with that. You are a human being, they're a human being, and they expect you to have emotions. So I'd say something like, actually, I'm a bit worried and concerned because I've now got to figure out how we're going to manage the team and transition your stuff and how we're going to cope with that over the next few weeks. So I'm a bit concerned about that. And I'm very disappointed as well, personally, that I'm going to lose a friendship or lose a colleague or lose the thought that someone I admire, the thought process, and even I'd say and a bit angry. So, but that's my problem, and I'm sure you've been through the roller coaster that's gotten you to this point as well in your emotions. So you basically set the scene, and the fourth thing is it's now your turn to be quiet and to ask the other person exactly what it is that's going on in their mind and how they see the world and what their perspective is. So enough about you. You ask, so how are you getting on and how have you come to this decision? And you let them speak and you ask interesting questions, and your whole goal here is forget about you, forget about next steps. Your goal is to understand from them how they see the world and potentially how they see things moving forward as well, because you don't know what's going on in their head. All you've just got is a letter. You don't know why, you don't know if it's real, if this is a guess or not, and that's what you do. So after they've talked about it and you've been asking interesting questions, you now know much more about the world and what potential options you have, and that's step 5. Step 5 is your normal negotiation. but you're doing it from a point of view where you know the facts, you know where they're coming from, and your job is to explain exactly where you're coming from as well too. So be realistic about your expectations. And there's two big warnings that I have for you. First of all is, you mentioned about do you counter offer. The research again shows that counter offering is counterintuitively wrong. Only about 10% of counter offers ever end up in success. And there's a few really obvious reasons for that. First of all, if someone has actually come to the situation where they've physically presented you with a resignation letter, there's a lot that's gone on. This hasn't been done on just a quick little thing. There's been a lot of thought process, a lot of thinking, and to just think that you can overdo that or change things by just offering a bit more money or changing position, it's almost naive. There's probably more to it. Maybe through your discovery session with them, where you ask them about what's going on, you've discovered some information that allows you to make a good counteroffer. But 9 times out of 10, even if it's accepted now, down the road, 6 months' time, they will be gone. Why? Because you'll have changed your attitude. You're probably not as trusting of them. You'll think that they're in it. They'll be moving on to the next one, just subconsciously. Them as well, they'll be thinking, well, hang on a second, I think I might be burning my bridges here. All of this is going on in heads. And that's why, the research is less than 10% of people are still with you 6 months down the line. Maybe you're the exception, but chances are you're not. The second thing to be really, really, really wary of is the temptation to burn this person is so strong, right? Because you don't want other people thinking how easy this is. Just what did they do to me? They left me in the lurch. The company as well is thinking, actually, Joe will do. We'll try and maybe keep them in their position for 3 or 4 months until we don't need them anymore, and then we'll just cut them loose. And I've seen that done so many times. The world is too small for that, right? The chances of you meeting this person again are very high. The chances of you meeting a person who heard from this person how you burned them is very high. The chance of your team, who you want to be working for you, seeing what gets done to them, thinking that could happen to me, is very, very high. The risks of burning someone, and even why you'd want to do it, other than make you feel better. Will it make you feel better? It's just, don't do it. Just please don't do it. The temptation is always very high. I have rarely seen it come out with a good outcome, a good positive outcome for not just you, but for the person, for your company, and especially for your team. Remember, your team is watching you. And it's really important that when they see you actually come through a situation like that and come through stronger and handle someone with compassion and humanity and kindness, you are building your credibility. You're building yourself as a leader, someone who has got their best interests in heart. And that is really what you want to be doing. Okay, a bit of a long-winded answer to, should you counteroffer or not? But I hope you see the bigger picture and why you need to be considering all those other aspects as well.